The International City and County Management Association is the leading organization of local government professionals dedicated to creating and sustaining thriving communities throughout the world. Today, we highlight the I in ICMA. This is ICMA TV. Welcome back for this fourth and final day. I'm Autria Godfrey. It's the I in ICMA that is driving today's focus, as we will hear about the numerous international partnerships, fellowships, and work being conducted on a global stage.
And really our mission is to help advance the work of international work and advance local government across the globe.
The International Committee shares the work currently underway all around the globe and how you can get involved.
Leadership and management experts from around the UK and around the world come together and share ideas.
Plus, we find out what's in store for this year's SOLACE meeting in conjunction with ICMA Europe. And we cross the border to the north to finish up our tour of local cities and counties, finding innovative ways to improve the lives of their citizens. We are packing a punch on this fourth and final day, and we want to make sure you can catch it all. You can see the latest episodes on the TVs placed throughout the Convention Center, on the homepage of the ICMA meeting website, where you can click through the playlist to find even more extensive meeting content, on the ICMA conference app, and on our YouTube and X pages, formerly known as Twitter. Emphasizing the I in ICMA is the International Committee's main priority among many other responsibilities. Kelly McAdoo and Cindy Steinhauser, Chair and Vice Chair of the International Committee, are sitting down with us now in studio. Thanks to you both for your time today.
Thank you.
Now, you both have been involved with the International Committee for some time. Why was it important for you to get involved in a chair capacity?
Well, I've been a member of the ICMA International Committee since about 2013. I just saw an opportunity to, as we've started to evolve the International Committee and its roles and responsibilities, to really step up and lend my experience over the years with the committee to the chair role. I've always had a passion for the international work, and when I found out about ICMA's work with the State Department, USAID, the grants and contract work that we do, it was very interesting to me, and I really wanted to get more involved, which was why I joined the committee in the first place.
I see you nodding right along. Similar reasons?
Yeah, and actually I was really fortunate to be a recipient of one of the international scholarships, and it allowed me to attend an international regional meeting of the International Committee in Prague, I think, and that's where I first met Kelly. And it was Kelly's enthusiasm and the enthusiasm of people who had a passion for international work that had continued to serve on the committee that really got me excited and wanted to know how I could contribute back.
Wonderful. Great recruiter then.
She was. She was.
Cindy, I mentioned that you put the I in ICMA. Can you talk a little bit more about the responsibilities of the International Committee?
Absolutely. It's a really great group of people, globally represented. We have members from across the globe, and really our mission is to help advance the work of international work and advance local government across the globe. We really have a lot of great opportunities, whether it's through the scholarship that I just mentioned that gives emerging leaders or seasoned leaders increased exposure, but also how we can advance some of the other programming, like Kelly mentioned, the YSEALI programs that are funded through state aid, exchanges that help increase knowledge of international work and democracy across the globe.
And so how do you see the International Committee helping to implement that global engagement strategy?
So the ICMA Executive Board has been focused on what is ICMA's leadership role in good governance around the globe. And so a couple of years ago launched an initiative to sort of re-envision, reimagine what global engagement looks like with ICMA from the US perspective, but then also engaging our international partners. So the International Committee has been key in serving on that global engagement strategy development. Cindy and I were both involved with the executive board members and ICMA staff, and now we're in the process of kind of how do we implement this? What are the next steps? What does it look like for ICMA to become a more global organization? And really, for me, I see the International Committee playing a key role in facilitating the relationships amongst our international partners, the groups that we've had relationships with for many years around the globe, and then also playing a role in sort of helping advance further the contract work and the technical support work that ICMA does across the globe.
Well, the global presence of ICMA is certainly felt, so we appreciate both of your work, and we certainly appreciate your time today. Thanks for speaking with us.
Thank you.
Great, thank you.
And with that, we cross the border to visit our neighbors of the north. The city of Brook in the northwest corner of Newfoundland and Labrador, Canada, is set within the Bay of Islands. Not only is it a great place for leisure, but many are adding to the rapidly growing populations for its hospitals, university, and other amenities.
The city of Brook is located in eastern Canada in Newfoundland, in the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. It is on the west coast of the island of Newfoundland, and it is a city of about 20,000 people.
Beautiful natural environment we're in, very low crime rate, great schools, great recreational facilities, but the real highlight is the access to the outdoors.
I guess if you're looking for more quality life, you want to go back to nature, experience the finer things in life, experiencing the beauty of Mother Nature. Brook has all of that to offer.
You're on an island, away from the hustle and bustle, but when you want to go visit a big city, it's right there.
Whereas hiking or arts or theater, whatever it is, it's here.
Keeping it in Canada, Lethbridge County in Alberta is the perfect place to experience the blissful blend of living and working. With a vibrant, educated workforce and excellent railway connections, there's plenty of room for businesses seeking new beginnings.
I think we're so lucky here in Lethbridge County. You know, we get to live a rural lifestyle.
The team is always thinking, and it's so exciting of an environment to work in that. Everybody's creating, everybody's innovative.
We're so fortunate. We have, we have irrigation, we have plentiful sunlight hours, we're close to the American border, we're close to Calgary, we're close to the mountains. So you really check so many boxes. You have these, a large urban center like Lethbridge. In the middle of our municipality, you have the small urbans that offer so many great opportunities for our youth, for families. And then you have those recreational opportunities as well. We have multiple golf courses, we have reservoirs. We really have everything here. Lethbridge County, it's constantly changing. I think every day something's happening. That's the exciting part, is that we're big enough and we're diverse enough that there's always something happening, always something changing in the county.
ICMA maintains affiliate relationships with local government professional organizations all around the world, and one of those is SOLACE, which here in just a couple of weeks will be holding their own meeting. SOLACE Executive Director Graeme MacDonald and ICMA Europe Director Peter Ogg join us now here in studio. Pleasure to have you both this morning.
Lovely to be here.
So Graeme, I want to get started with you. SOLACE is ICMA's oldest international affiliate. What has been the benefit of the relationship between ICMA and SOLACE?
The main message to really say is that there's more that brings us together than there is differences between. So we might have different systems, we might have different approaches, we might have different services, but actually the leadership and management of local government is similar right across the world. And so many of the challenges that we face in the UK are the same in the rest of Europe, but also here in America, and as I said, right around the globe.
That's such a great point. The world's actually smaller than we think. So, Peter, how do you collaborate with SOLACE?
Well, it's actually SOLACE is the association that we collaborate the most with. First of all, there's no language barrier.
Right.
Second,
it makes things much easier.
Second, it's a very similar system with the European as well as the US system. So it's all exchanges, speakers at conferences, newsletters, online, basically everything that ICMA does.
Okay, so as I mentioned, you have your summit coming up. The SOLACE Summit is in just about 3 weeks from now. Can you tell us a little bit about what members can expect, what's on tap?
So there's we have focus on sort of 3 areas. We have lots of discussions around sort of generic leadership and management. So many of the leadership and management experts from around the UK and around the world come together and share ideas. We have a policy focus, which is more about, we have a strong relationship with our central government. There's a lot of work done between different levels of government. So it's exploring those policy opportunities. And then the final one is about our future pipeline of leaders and managers. So we put a lot of emphasis on ensuring that we've got chief executives, as we call them in the UK, of the future who are there able to work alongside the current chief executives and learn from each other.
So a lot to look forward to.
Absolutely.
So Peter, we want to ask you, what is the benefit of hosting the ICMA Europe Summit alongside the SOLACE meeting? What do you gain from that?
What we try to do is every year when we have the ICMA Europe Summit, put it in a different country, of course, with a different organization. And if we can do it, just like this year, alongside with their own conference, it's a double benefit, because that means their members get a first-hand experience with the international part, and they can see that the local government professionals family is out there, not only in their own country.
Wonderful. Well, thank you both so much for your time this morning. I know you are busy planning, in the final few weeks here before the meeting. So best of luck with the meetings and safe travels. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Opportunities are blooming in Bloomington, Minnesota. The international outreach and partnerships in Bloomington are serving as a great example of the mutual benefits of international exchange. City Manager Jamie Verbrugge and Assistant City Manager Mike Sable are here in studio this morning with more about the exciting things on tap. Good morning to you both.
Good morning. Good morning.
All right, Jamie, I want to get started with you because Bloomington has had a lot of success with these international partnerships. Can you kind of elaborate or explain some of the key elements to a successful partnership?
Sure. We have, over the last few years, been working to try and develop international relationships for business purposes, for purposes of community engagement, and also to elevate Bloomington on the global scale to make sure that people know that here in the middle of Minnesota, in the middle of the United States, that we have a lot to offer the world, both from an economic perspective, but also a social and cultural perspective.
What are the benefits to, say, your residents in Bloomington to have these international exchanges and partnerships?
Well, Bloomington is a rapidly diversifying community. And recognizing that we have residents from around the world in Bloomington, it gives them voice, it helps them see their own culture in the outreach that our community does. And it also creates a healthier economic base for our community by trying to cultivate international business.
Mike, can you elaborate on a little bit, specifically the diverse population? How do you serve the needs of that population?
Sure. Bloomington has had a significant shift in our population from the 70s when it was 1% people of color to now more than a third of people of color in the community. And what we really do is try to tailor our services and our outreach to those communities so that they can see themselves in the services that we provide, but also have greater voice. So the things that the city reacts to is really in service to the community and recognizing that our learning and understanding of their culture actually strengthens the bonds for these people with a deeper tie to Bloomington.
What is the feedback that you hear from residents?
I think the feedback has been really positive at this point. I think people know that as services change, as our communities evolve, they are seeing the progress that they hope for and create deeper ties and connections to Bloomington.
What would your advice be? This is a question for both of you. What would your advice be maybe for other city managers that are kind of toying with the idea of creating these international exchanges?
I think the important step is to evaluate what your objectives are as a community and what you're hoping to accomplish. It can be many different purposes. So if you do have a growing diaspora community or a growing cultural diversity within the community, that helps to build relationships within the community to recognize that we are not a monolith, right? We are not just a homogeneous population anymore. And it really helps to welcome people into our community. If you're trying to do it from an economic perspective, then it's really important to approach things on a relational basis, not a transactional basis. And so over a number of years now, we have been doing that with Japanese and with European contacts, with our friends at the State Department, because they've played a role in some of the work that we've been doing. And it also helps to work with the Chamber of Commerce and the State Economic Development organization because they already have some of those international relationships. So it really depends on what you're trying to accomplish, and then it really depends on putting time and effort into building the relationship.
Mike, I see you nodding along. Can you elaborate a little bit more on the economic impact that you've witnessed?
So I think one of the things that we recognize is that as the demographics shift, the need for different jobs, more high-tech jobs, more service jobs. We're a tourism-based economy, a tourist-based economy. When we can diversify our economic portfolio, we actually can strengthen job growth in the communities, particularly underserved communities, which is really going to be beneficial both not only now, but also into the future.
Well, you both are doing a wonderful job. You're a shining example of, the incredible benefits that can come about, with these partnerships. So thank you both for your work and for your time today.
We thank you for giving us the opportunity to talk about Bloomington, where our mission is to cultivate an enduring and remarkable community where people want to be.
Awesome. Thank you both. Each year, ICMA highlights those that are leading by example. We are thrilled to introduce you to one of this year's game changers, Allison Orr, who is showing how the arts can advance civic processes.
At Forklift Danceworks, we are a community-based arts organization, and our mission is to activate communities through a collaborative, creative process. My session will be about how the arts can advance civic processes. Over the past 20 years, we have partnered with multiple city departments here in Austin, Texas to create inclusive, creative programming that helps regular folks understand what our city employees here in Austin do. We're not a traditional dance studio. Our dancers are professional movers, but don't think of themselves as dancers in any way. We've partnered with power linemen, sanitation workers, firefighters, forestry technicians. So we really collaborate with the people whose movement sustains our everyday lives. What we do is we embed within institutions, typically it has been city departments here in Austin, and as artists we really learn about the job, and then together with the frontline workers, with the essential personnel, we create performances that they perform. They are the expert movers, so you might see in our session video of trash collectors elegantly spinning trash carts or aquatics maintenance staff testing a pool. Over the past 20 years, we've been listening to our collaborators, collecting feedback, and we've seen time and time again that our collaborative projects not only boost morale for the participating work groups, the city employees, but they also change the way the public sees those employees and also understands the issues that in some ways have our most challenging here in our city. So we worked with the aquatics department to try to drive greater public will around the need to support and fund our public pool system. And during our project, the largest bond ever in the history of aquatics passed. So we helped to take complicated city issues, humanize them, and again, give the ordinary person both a kind of behind-the-scenes perspective of what it takes and a deeper understanding of how our city functions. It's a huge honor to be highlighted as a game changer by ICMA. I mean, I feel deep in my heart that we as artists are essential to making our communities, our cities function better for everyone, but I'm really honored to be here and be here with my fellow panelists to talk about how the arts can really animate civic processes.
Turning now to a Japanese oasis right here in the United States. Gardena, California is home to a large Japanese population. Even the city's community center is named for the first Japanese-American mayor, Ken Nakaoka. Let's see how his relationship with industry giants has led to huge economic growth for the city.
There's so many different components that are happening in your city. There's so many different moving parts going on in Gardena to make it run efficiently.
Economic development is a big focus for the city, but so is investing in public initiatives for the community. Our city prides itself in having an award-winning transportation department. also known as G-Trans. In 2021, we were awarded 2 gold awards for safety by the American Public Transportation Association.
A lot of people in our community tell us that they feel that we really care about them. I mean, Gardena is still what I consider a big city. We're a city of 61,000, but it still has that great hometown feel to it.
Our city's future is bright. Our residents will continue to enjoy what Gardena has to offer. And that is a great place to live, work, and play. And we will continue to be the gem of the South Bay.
Time to talk the future of ICMA, and for that we welcome incoming ICMA President Lon Pluckon to the studio. Pleasure to have you here with us today.
Thank you for the invitation.
You know, you bring a very unique perspective to the role of ICMA President, as you currently serve as Deputy City Manager, although you've spent the majority of your career as City Manager. What's that like?
Well, I think for our membership, my hope is that it really reminds everybody that there's a lot of different paths that you can take in this career. Because in addition to having spent a lot of time as a city manager, I also spent quite a while as a department head in a council of governments. And for ICMA, one of the things that we've had to realize is that there are a lot of paths into local government. And with the workforce challenges that we have nationwide, we'd really need to be involved in all of them.
And I would imagine that holding those different positions as you have would also impact how you tackle leadership as ICMA President.
Yeah, because it's a good reminder that leadership exists at all levels in the organization, and that you don't have to be the CEO or the CAO in order to have a positive impact on your communities.
What are some of the primary initiatives that you hope to implement or chase during your term?
Well, we've got a lot of ongoing work with our global initiative that we really need to continue to pursue. But one of the ones that we just kicked off is our governance task force, because ICMA, our regions, the way that we choose our board members has really stayed static for about 20 years. And yet we've seen a lot of change in the world, the organization, the way we interact with each other. And it's really time to take a look at that underpinnings about just how we govern ourselves, especially in light of the fact that not only are there domestic things that we need to deal with and examine, but we're pivoting to being a global organization.
You talk about change, you know, over the last couple of decades. What are you hearing from fellow city managers that are some of the biggest challenges or obstacles that they're facing?
There are really a couple of items that you see that show up in all cities. I think especially housing is a huge issue in the U.S. and worldwide. I talk to our international members and they're all facing challenges around that. Homelessness is a persistent issue across the globe, while a little bit less evenly distributed across the U.S. So there are a lot of those types of issues that I think that all of our communities are tackling.
Well, you certainly have a lot on your plate as you head into this next year as ICMA President, but all the best luck to you and congratulations.
Thank you. I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm just happy to have the opportunity to serve.
As we wrap up an incredible week here, it is never too soon to start thinking about 2024, and we are thrilled to have our host committee here, Denise Fitzgerald and Kevin Flannery, to discuss the planning that is already underway. Thanks to both of you for your time today.
Thank you for taking time.
Okay, don't keep us on suspense. Where are we headed next?
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
That's the pickle.
Yes.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
All right, so Denise, what do you look for when you start determining where your next host city will be?
Well, we love Pittsburgh. We have so many different things to offer to the city. We have our iconic skyline as you go through the Fort Pitt tunnels and you come out, you see our beautiful city. We have wonderful cultural district. We have many biking trails, walking trails. We have our David Lawrence Convention Center, which everyone is going to be going to for the conference. We have our Heinz History Center. And of course, we can't forget our sports teams. We have the Steelers, the Pirates, and the Penguins. We have so much to offer in our beautiful city.
Hope you're going to be handing out rally towels. Kevin, this actually isn't our first time in the Steel City. We were back in Pittsburgh in 2007. Were there any lessons learned or maybe anything that you would like to recreate from that time in Pittsburgh?
What we're going to do is the friendly atmosphere of being in Pittsburgh, and we want families to come too, because there's a lot of family activities. In 2007, the city was challenged by the fact that we were short about 3,000 rooms to be right in the central area within 2-3 blocks. They have added close to 4,000 new rooms. So we'll be able to, if 6,000 managers, assistants, and department heads want to come, we're going to easily be able to handle them within a 5-block area.
That's amazing, and that's great for families, the walkability. So without giving anything away, planning is already underway. Can you give us a little snippet of what people can expect?
I can tell you that we're looking forward to people coming, and as you know, the opening reception on Saturday is September 21st. And as Earth, Wind & Fire said in their song, "Do you remember September 21st? We promise you will remember September 21st, 2024.
You will be hearing that song at the reception, I'm sure. All right, you know, you guys are already very busy preparing, but a lot can change in the year. So Denise, how flexible do you need to be when it comes to putting the program together to maybe pivot last minute if necessary, or be willing to make some different accommodations or changes?
Because we are in the city of Pittsburgh, the city of Pittsburgh has beautiful weather maybe in the morning and then some maybe light rain in the afternoon. So we do have to prepare to make sure that whatever events that we plan are able to be held in the evening, in the day, in the snow, in the rain, and pretty much for any type of weather that we're going to have.
Packed for everything.
But we're ready for it.
Wonderful. All right, well, you guys are already handing out the little Heinz pickles. Where can people monitor all the latest updates, all the latest maybe hotel information or travel information about Pittsburgh?
We're going to work with ICMA to make sure that, and we are looking to create our own little website to start probably in February to get the excitement going.
Wonderful. All right, well, thank you both so much for sitting down with us this morning. I personally can't wait to be back with you next year in Pittsburgh. Looking forward to it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Never too soon to get those Steeler rally towels ready. It's been a fantastic week here with you in Austin, and we hope you've enjoyed all the extra insights right here on ICMA TV. We may be wrapping up, but our content lives on. You can still find all the interviews, films, and packages from the entire week on our YouTube or X channels, formerly known as Twitter. Thanks so much for joining us here this week. Safe travels back home, everyone, and we hope to be right back here with you again next year in Pittsburgh.